Good morning, buddy. Good afternoon. I'm about to stream a little bit, go over some market setups. Um, Let me share the link to YouTube live to the spaces so you guys can see a little bit of what I have to show. Let me share the spaces too. Um, Alright, so let's go in. Just make sure everything is good. Cool. If in the past I have heard that I have issues with my microphone here on X, but not necessarily when it is on on YouTube. So if you cannot hear me on X, maybe join on YouTube and you'll be able to just listen in if needed. With SPY, what's going on with SPY today is very how do you call that? Like very textbook price behavior. It's a little bit more bearish than I thought it would be. There is still a chance of trading higher to the end of the week. Some of the some of the targets I had for today might not hit, at least on now. Maybe towards the end of the day could happen, but right now what we got is that basically this midday area. We noted today that it would be have low volume, calm before the storm kind of deal. The range is a little bit lower than I expected. This was I wrote this around 10 a.m. my time. It was for the pre-market prep. Those are the things that we covered. I thought we were going to be consolidating around 574.50, 576. We did tag 576.50, but it was brief, and now the pullback is happening. The Qs are consolidating within the range we talked about, but just gonna go over some of the data right now with you guys. If you're on YouTube, you're gonna be able to see it exactly what we are expecting. If you don't know yet, I think SPY, according to the data, it's gonna be pretty bullish. I think that not saying all-time highs or anything like that yet. I think there's still a chance of saying 580 and so on. But right now we're clearly at an inflection zone when it comes to just all this this low that we made recently, and then also the low that we made recently, and also the fact that we are not right now trying to recover the 200-day moving average, right? So far, what we have seen is the very clear dynamic that we mentioned. It was yesterday, actually. We talked about how, and I posted today on X as well, but just really quickly, what we talked about yesterday was that we were expecting a rejection of the 200-day moving average, and everybody was going to end up shorting that. It was very expected. But what most people missed is that despite this rally, the people shorting at the 200-day average were going to be trapped. Likely triggering a gap up tomorrow that would trap the substantial bet position established today. So everybody that went short, and a lot of people went short yesterday, with this little gap up we had, it's kind of trapped. So there's a little bit of pain happening right now for the bears, especially the VIX dying out. We have some levels right here at 1730. As you can see, I posted right here the levels for the VIX. Where is it? Yeah, so here we have it. Bid spot. So VIX needs to break below this area right here, 1730, 17. Otherwise, I think that we could have some bid on the VIX and maybe a little bit of not a test of 570, but enough for let's just go into the data. As you can see, the gamma profile is mostly positive, and most of the gamma is concentrated around this area that we're trading, which is not surprising, because where gamma is, there's a lot of pull We are seeing this 573, 574, 575 area be just a congestion zone. But as you can see as well, into the late days of this week, today's just Tuesday, there's a real chance of breakout higher into 580. That's going to happen if we're able to bid above 576. The Qs are noticeably stronger than SPY, and not for nothing, because the data is actually way more bullish on the Qs. I'm going to pull up real quick for you guys to see. So here we have it. We have actually like a setup that could easily trigger price to trade all the way to 495, 496 on the Qs. Positive game is greater, which means the rallies are more stable. So above 490 on the Qs, everything looks pretty good, and the expectancy is to trade into 496, 495 into the end of the week. Something major would have to happen for price not to reach those levels. Everything is possible with the catalyst that we have had when it comes to tariffs. So not, although I think it's price staying already with tariffs, but any crazy, let's say there's no real data that should be coming in, but something major would have to happen to disrupt these flows that are likely going to bring SPY higher, right? So, I mean, not SPY, Qs higher. Again, kind of boring day today, but what's happening under the surface is much greater than what we've seen. This move above the 200-day moving average, this little gap up, and the fact that we're staying above 574, trying to get above 575, could really lead to market makers buying back a lot of those hedges that they had. And what do I mean by that? Is that as they buy those hedges back, what we're going to see is this green line, the price, push above the stars at 575 and just keep tracking along until 576, which is another level that we have, and possibly trade to 580. That's the greater probability setup than anything else. Even if we were to take a trip down to 570, which is unlikely, we still have that setup set for us to just trade higher, to be honest with you. So when it comes, that's basically what we're seeing on SPY. Let me see. I made some notes before I came in. Major breakout above 576.25. You want to see price trade above 576.25 on SPY with expanding volume. That would be really helpful. Without that, I think that this could be dragged out a little longer. My expectancy again is into the end of the week for this price move to consolidate, to realize into 580, 577, that area, 495 in the Qs. But again, the longer we stay here above 573.50, 573, the more likely it is that we're gonna get this push higher. Okay, so let me just go over. When would I say I'm wrong, right? So where would I be a little concerned about this move higher? So if I were to see SPY trading below, closing below 571, right? That would be a little bit concerning, because as the hedging happens overnight, it would bring some weakness, and it would allow bears to relocate the positions in a way that could breach 570 and then take us down all the way down back to 565. As you can see right here, this little nub right here on the gamma. It's very clear on the Vano. Let me show you guys. And I'll pull up the delta as well. I see how much Vano is being built up here, but right now, again, like, this is very unlikely 570 is going to breach. The most likely is actually that if we were to trade in 571, 570, we will see a very, very, very decent bid coming in. Some mechanical buying pressure that, you know, it just steamroll anybody trying to take this lower, to be honest with you. But again, we have this really clean setup to trade higher. Not much going on when it comes to price action today, but don't be fooled. This price action, which is really slow today, can actually be a bullish thing. Right? Remember that this time passing is acceptance when it comes to price action. So this consolidation above the 200-day moving average, with all the bearish flow we saw coming in yesterday, I don't know. It's just something that really makes me think that we are setting up bear trap after bear trap after bear trap, and it's gonna just keep going, gapping up a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, over and over again. Like I just want to pull this out for you guys to see, just for this inspiration. We see just the overall puts volume, right? You see how much people have been shorting this thing. Something happened right here around 12:20 Central Time. This incredible volume coming in of puts. So bears are definitely active. Even you can see the some volume for puts is greater, 51%. Just because it's 51% doesn't, for you guys that maybe are not really familiar with the data that we use here, this is quite a lot, to be honest with you. Anything above 51 should be something to pay attention to, for SPY at least, right? And then we still have a pretty even implied volatility. So again, not much going on. I'm more paying attention to VIX, what it's doing, than SPY itself today. Once more, that level 17 I showed you I was posting about is what I'm really paying attention. The Qs again look more bullish than SPY, and we should see a little bit of a greater pull higher. But I can show you some other stuff here too. We have the Genesis model, which that's completely independent on me. It's a AI model built on its own. I don't have any influence over it, so it's like having a different analyst besides me. Here's what it's saying. It's saying bullish with potential volatility. BTD means buy the dip environment. So if you were just basically what I said, right? If we were to go to 572, 571, 570 even, it's calling for us to buy that because likely should reverse higher. PNG provides support. So where's PNG? Peak 90 gamma is a 574. And sure enough, we have been bouncing 574 for a while now. And PPG, which is peak positive gamma, is the immediate target, 575. So they're also saying what I was saying, that it's kind of range bound, this 574, 575. And then it also gives a little more insight, saying that the positive gamma build-up is actually calling for a breakout higher. Just like I said to you guys, 576. Gapping up overnight could happen. We made some good trades already today. The best trade for me today was at open, where I actually posted live for you guys on X. Like to go long at 574. I even mentioned it's likely to touch twice the close yesterday, and that's exactly what happened. The low of the day was 573.94, and then shortly after, within I think 30 minutes, we traded $2 higher. Not bad for a day like today that SPY is up less than 1%. I mean less than 0.1% on the day. So what else can I see when it comes to for the last 40 minutes today? Here's the expectations. That I want to see an increased activity on the dealers hedging. So you want to see the options volume increasing a little bit more, and then if that happens, that is a confirmation that we are likely to get another gap up overnight. Also watch the VIX below 17 makes a whole bunch more sense that we're going to get another gap up. We're expecting a mechanical buying pressure again into the close. It could take us as high as 576 again. Let's say 575.75, 576.25, this kind of area. What else? Last 15 minutes, I think that, if we get too ahead of ourselves, here's the delta, right? So if we get too ahead of ourselves and we try to go into 577, I expect a pretty decent pullback in the last 15 minutes to 575, okay? That's something that, I've seen happen over and over again. For those who really like to trade those last 15 minutes, I don't like it, but with SPX, you can make some good money with that. Yeah, so if there's an outsized buying pressure coming into the last 40 minutes, 30 minutes of the market, maybe you might want to try to find a little resistance and trade the last 10 minutes while you can. And you don't have to do it for 0 DTE. There's plenty of times I've done it with 1 DTEs, and that was pretty profitable. But that's just me being a degenerate, kind of scalping the last 15 minutes of the market. But whatever we do to make money. Tomorrow, right? And again, this can change, right? It's based on data today, but I have a pretty good idea what by looking at today. I'm not expecting anything crazy, like not another 1% or 2% day like we had yesterday. I'm thinking more of like a 0.3% on the SPY, maybe a 0.5 on the Qs. Really? Okay. Press cut off. Alright, so I'm gonna figure out. I think my internet is just crappy right now. But I'll see what's going on. It should be super fast. But let's see. It should be working okay. You know what? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start recording these, and that way I'll post right after I'm done. Alright? I'm sure X is probably getting the same issues, and I'm sorry guys if you guys are having the same issue, but I'll figure out something, make it better. Okay? Just bear with me, I just started in this thing. So, what was saying? Alright, for tomorrow, right? I'm not really expecting a 1% day like we were expecting on Monday, or even 2% like it actually was. More like a 0.3 on SPY, maybe 0.5 on Qs. The resistance zone is kind of clear today. For tomorrow, it should be 577, 560, 576.50 on SPY. I'm thinking that, let me see. So, kind of similar where the overnight move kind of fades through the first hour. I think that, if we get everything goes according to plan after the first hour trading, into the first hour trading, we're going to trade back to this 474 level. But the difference is that instead of just going to 576, we're actually going to go to 577. Okay, and that might not seem like a lot, but if you're a scalper or day trader like me, that's a pretty good setup that you can do over and over again every single day of the week, and just you could be done trading by Wednesday and take just a 4-day weekend. So something to consider. The range I'm expecting for tomorrow is a little bit wider. So let's say if we were to have like some let me see. So 577. Let's talk about this level for a little bit. If everything goes according to plan, if towards the end we do have that higher hedging activity, and if we do pull into, let's say, 577. Pull up this thing. And again, I'm not showing the SPX levels, but the 577 is mostly done from SPX and some other calculations I do using IV. So, let's just say we test 577, expect the rejection there first of all, but depending on how deep the rejection is, if it just goes back to 575 and it bids again, then that's my clue, depending on the data tomorrow, that we're going to trade 578. If we don't see volume expanding on that test of 577, then that's your clue that the pullback can be a little bit lower, and it could drive us all the way back to 573. Okay, so that's actually a trade I'm looking forward to for tomorrow. Is that little short at 577? Again, data could change, but I'll be posting on X, so don't worry about it. I'll be definitely posting here, updating you guys live. But again, as it's setting up for today, I think that we should see mechanical buying pressure and should close. I think that the VIX it's really struggling to stay up, but I really want to see a confirmation or break lower below 17 to really confirm that gap up. Weakness in the morning, buy the weakness, rinse and repeat over and over again. All right, kind of like today. So that's really it for me. When it comes to, some people have been asking me about GME. I don't like talking about earnings, but let's do it. Let me see if somebody's mentioning something. I'm really whacking while trading, for real, man? That's really bad. Oh my gosh. I'll figure out something. I hope you can just... Let me see. Yeah. I hear you. Let's check out GME real quick. I'm gonna try something, see if I can fix this. But, and I'm pretty sure this is my internet just giving me trouble again. Let me see. Trying to figure out if I can set the settings a little bit lower so it's a little bit easier. You know what, instead of doing this live, I'm gonna do it. I'll do it later. Alright, so thanks for letting me know that. Huh. It is a friendly issue. Let me see. Let me try to reframe this. How is that? Is that better? I think it is. It looks better for me. Hope it looks better for you guys too. Cool. So here we have it, right? So no surprise, 26, that level I was talking about yesterday, this little yellow star right here. It coincides with a whole bunch of other calculations that I do using this data, but a major breakout would happen up there. 25 zone was the support I mentioned, also coincided with the of course, two stars over here. We just make it easy, just follow the stars, support, resistance. Look at all this gamma at 30, guys. And then there's quite a lot going on a bit higher than 30, I'll be honest with you. So that doesn't mean we're just going to plow through all of that, but it does give us a pretty good idea that, earnings is always hard because, the volatility that happens after market, the fact that options do not, there's not really a change in the AV. It's very hard to read, but we can see that, there's enough to pull us higher into 27, 29, possibly 30. There is some support lower. So let's say earnings happen and It's just in par, but they sell anyway. That is an opportunity to go long back long again at 24, trying to catch a move all the way to 26 and maybe higher, right? When it comes to the delta for GME, just because some people were mentioning, and while we're at it, I'm just going to open and open volume as well. It has to be my internet. It never takes this long to load. It's probably something with my streaming settings. Okay. So 80% of positions for GME right now are in a way that's going to benefit if price goes higher. So in other words, 80% of positions are bullish. Only 20% of them are bearish, right? Which is indicative of a confirmed trend, number one, which we had since 21.5. And now it's coming to like a little bit of a late stage rally, but it also is, what you call this, supportive of price. As you can see, we have a whole lot of delta right here at 25, and a whole bunch more at 23. Those two areas are going to be a strong support. 23 is an area where, unless there's news of like a dilution or something like that, that level is going to be a very mean reversion higher. So it's just like extreme buying pressure should come in if we were to dip into 23 after earnings. There is enough positioning to carry us out all the way to 30. So nothing too crazy there. The amount of positive data that we have here could make so earnings a little bit muted. What do I mean by muted? Let's pretend there's a huge catalyst, something amazing happens during earnings. It might not move as much as it should. Let's just say that, right? So instead of moving, let's say 30% because it was amazing earnings, it might just move 10%, okay? Just because of how this will eventually mute the volatility of this event. Volume is really bullish, as you can see. The implied volatility is skewed to the upside. Now, this is something that I want to bring attention to. The Vanna being positive with this extreme call volatility has been GME's worst enemy. And today's the first day that we see that happening, actually. Excuse me. And the reason why we're actually seeing a red day is because this causes some serious selling pressure. In the past has been the cause for support to break. Very strong support. This dynamic has made it so it broke. It has made it so every rally was sold. So this is the only thing about this whole situation that is the biggest enemy of GME. It has always been the setup that we have today. Excuse me.
Mic off. Mic on.
So that's something we're gonna be. I'll be tracking personally. I'm gonna check every now and then, see if this changes. Once this IV goes to the put side, then we're gonna be in a much better place. Okay, can you hear me now? Let's see. Yeah, I'm back on. So I'll be checking this IV once that put IV goes back to being greater. That's going to be much more bullish. I'm going to check this volume just to see where most hedging volume is happening today when it comes to the gamma. But as we go into earnings again, like most of the position is very bullish, 80%. Gamma has enough to pull higher into 30, and then it's just not from one inspiration only; it's from many inspirations. And then we have a ton of volume happening all the way at 30 today. So all this looks really bullish, but again, we have this one enemy that is the call IV with positive VANA that numerous times has met GME trades lower. Okay, so take it as a grain of salt. I'm not trading earnings. I think that's just lotto. It's a gambling for GME right now. If it had a different setup, maybe I would. With this setup, I'm not, just because, again, there's conflicting data. Some data says it's going to, most of the data saying it's going to go higher, but the only one that's saying it's going to go lower is usually a pretty strong case for GME. So just take it as you want. Whatever you want to do with that. When it comes to, let's say, yeah. So that's really it, guys. Again, SPY. We look for a bid a little bit lower, mechanical buying pressure at the end of the day. Gap up overnight. Qs are going to be a little more bullish. Fade tomorrow morning. Nothing major. Sorry. Again, if you want to know more about this data, if you are curious about it, send me a DM. Comment here on this YouTube live. I'll be able to answer your questions. Follow me on X. Follow Nebula Trades on X. We'll talk more about it. We'll inform you of anything you need to know. And we're very open, very willing to educate anybody that's willing to learn. So with that said, thank you for